Ali Gayward, welcome to Reporter. easyJet's commercial manager for the UK and Malta, and we'll be talking about easyJet and Malta. But before I sort of kick off and we talk about easyJet and what plans you have for Malta, let's talk a little bit about easyJet per se. It's obviously associated with low-cost airline, with a model which obviously has overtaken the traditional airline business, which, as we very well know, has been not only hard hit, but in some cases closed down a number of well-known established companies. So tell me something about easyJet in a nutshell, about the company. I mean, where it, what it thinks its business sense, its business its business blueprint. How does it function?
Well, easyJet as a company now is almost 17 years old. Obviously, it was one of the first low-cost airlines. We're now the fourth largest airline in Europe. We now carry, well, over 60% of our business is now actually doesn't even touch the UK. Even though we're a UK-based carrier, the majority of our travel now is for core Europe. We are, as a company, evolving. Our strategy is to serve the European major airports, so we don't serve the secondary or tertiary airports that may be 50, 70 kilometres away from the city that you want to go to. But I think as we evolve now, we want to develop, I think the key is, the core strategy for us is on-time dependability, but staying true to our strategy of making fares easy and affordable for all. But customer service is the most important thing for us. So we're developing a number of different customer products, both on the ground and in the air, that improve the whole customer experience. Isn't
this going back a little bit to the original model where it was very much, getting on board, getting to your destination, and that's it? Isn't it sort of a little bit before, the traditional airlines were very much focused on giving a nice meal on time. If you miss your flight, we try and arrange something else. Whereas low-cost airlines, where you get on, and you get to your destination, and that's the most important thing.
Well, I think it's a mixture of both, because obviously when you talk to customers, to travellers, the most important thing for them really is a service that goes to the place that they want to go to, but more importantly gets them there at the time that they're expecting to get there. But then, I think where we set ourselves apart from the traditional legacy carriers is not everybody wants to take a piece of checked luggage. Not everybody perhaps wants a meal on board. Not everybody wants to get on board the aircraft first, for example. So we have taken out to those options as a way of reducing fares. We negotiate very good deals with the airports that we fly to ensure that we can keep fares very affordable for everybody. So I think what we have done is, whilst maintaining some of the values that perhaps you've seen in the legacy carriers in terms of offering good customer service, but we've also made travel very, very much cheaper.
When you think about the biggest threat to low-cost airlines in terms of survival, is it the fact that airports are unwilling to give you special rates? Is it the question of the costs linked to aviation fuel, or is it basically the general recession which has hit spending power? What are the main considerations over there?
Well, I actually think that the low-cost model is the model that's going to survive, because as we have all been hit by economic downturn throughout Europe, people are looking for options that give them better value for money. The key for us to sustaining that and making fares easy and affordable for all is to ensure that we negotiate very good rates to enable us to fly to the airports where our customers want to go to, so that we can make travel feasible for them. So I actually think, as I say, that the low-cost airlines are the ones who have the best deals in place, the lowest operating costs, to enable us to carry forward. Obviously, escalating fuel is an issue. Today, easyJet we do hedge our fuel. Between about 60 and 80% of our fuel costs are hedged, which enables us to manage our costs a lot better.
When you look at a destination like Malta as a base, with obviously our limited growth. I mean, there's an element of growth which we can't grow beyond a certain limit. Why would easyJet want to invest more time and energy in a place like Malta when there are and I have to say there are already low-cost airlines. Ryanair is here, and other airlines are here. Low-cost airlines are here. Why would you want to come in?
I think it's
easy to take a chunk of their market, or to create a new market?
To grow the market, most definitely. And I think when you look at the routes that we serve today, okay, during the peak summer months, the typical summer holiday months, the flights are, 90–95% more full. But there is an awful lot more that we can do in the shoulder and the winter period to encourage more people to come to Malta, but also help people from Malta travel to other destinations. But also, I don't think when you look at easyJet's network and where we're based throughout Europe, that we by any means have the needs of either the inbound tourism or economic market, or indeed the outbound market. We don't have that covered yet. There are certainly more opportunities for us out there that aren't served by other airlines, or perhaps are served today, but they are underserved, so there is more capacity needed.
Okay, if I had to ask you a very direct question about, and this is not a loaded question, I'm not even being being pushed either by you or by anyone else, but if I had to look at Ryanair and easyJet, what basically is the difference? I mean, let's face it. I mean, if I obviously go online and I say, there's Ryanair and easyJet. I mean, is it a question of I want to get to a place and or another place? Is it the pricing? Is it a better service? Is it you have nicer staff or no staff at all? I mean, what is it all about?
I think it's really, we would say it's down to customer service. We try and differentiate ourselves from Ryanair. For start, we fly to primary airports. So, for example, Charles de Gaulle Airport or Milan Malpensa or London Gatwick, primary airports, whereas the Ryanair strategy, and this is the way that they keep their fares so very low, has been by flying to secondary and tertiary airports, which, as I say, may be quite some distance from the city centre that you want to go to. But the key for us has been the onboard products that we offer. So, for example, at the moment we're trialling allocated seating. I think you've probably experienced if you like, the bun fight that is the boarding process for low-cost carriers now, where everybody is racing to get on board to find the seat that they want. We are trialling a programme through this summer, and we'll make a decision at the end of next month about whether we make every seat on the aircraft we give every seat the ability to be pre-allocated at the time of booking or prior to departure. The trial is going very well, and I think that we will launch that in the autumn. So it's...
But this again is to a certain extent is going back to the old model, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think the key is, because as an airline we have evolved with a very low cost base. We do a very, very good job of managing our costs, both in terms of our internal costs and our external costs, in terms of working with airports and things like that, ground handlers, contractors. We are able to keep our costs incredibly low, but we are evolving to ensure that then we can offer facilities on board that satisfy the needs of the regular traveller, and possibly, particularly for a market like Malta, the more discerning traveller. And this is where I think we want to position ourselves moving forwards.
I don't like to mention sort of the enemy, but I'll mention again. Ryanair have a very aggressive marketing strategy. I have to say that I find I can't understand how a journalist could ever sit down to any of their press conferences. But that's not the point. The point is that they have an extremely aggressive and I can understand the business sense, very aggressive. Does easyJet have the same type of tempo and are you that hyper and impulsive as Ryanair?
I think we have a very different business strategy to Ryanair. As I say, for both airlines, the key for us is keeping our costs as low as possible. But I think we are diverting the way that we're doing business, and as I say, we're very customer focused. We want to look after you when things go wrong. If we look back to when Europe suffered as a result of the volcano in Iceland, we complied with legislation in terms of providing all of our passengers with overnight accommodation, paying for their transportation on other carriers if we weren't able to operate. The needs of our customers come first, and not every low-cost carrier does that. So we have very different business strategies. Customer service is first and foremost the most important thing for us.
Let's talk about the immediate thing. Just now, obviously, well, at least on the international scene, there's the Olympic agenda, right? How important is this for easyJet? I mean, do people do the Olympics generate that amount of extra traffic, or is it just a figment of our imagination?
That's a tricky one, actually, because what we have seen as a result of escalating hotel prices and some of the media coverage that has been about how congested and difficult London is going to be through the Olympic period, we've actually seen an awful lot of people choose not to travel to London through the Olympic period. Certainly people are coming in because of the Olympics, but I think the number of visitors overall that we've seen has probably declined because people, for example, aren't coming to London to do business. They're being discouraged by the companies that they may have come to meet because hotel prices are so high and people are going to say how congested it is. There really aren't any more hotel rooms in London, so I'm not sure how much more congested it can get, but we have actually seen a downturn in inbound business.
Well, that's when the media obviously works against business, and business can't do anything about it, right?
Absolutely. I mean, for example, now, you know, right through the Olympic period, you can get fares from Malta into London for around €104.
The ticketing strategy of easyJet is basically still based on online, right?
Yes, very much so. I mean, you know, I think the way companies are going now, you want to drive all of your business to online. That's one of the ways that we control our costs. And
are you conscious of the fact that there might be potential customers who might be confused with all the things there are online? I mean, and the idea of the comparisons, you know, that you don't have somebody working out the best fares for you.
Yes.
I mean, not everybody, although there's this impression that everybody goes online, there are customers who cannot differentiate between one and the other.
No, absolutely not. And now easyJet is available for sale through most of what we call the GDS systems, the global distribution systems that your travel agent would use. So we realise that there is an element of the population who perhaps are not comfortable with the internet. So we are working more closely with the travel trade.
And this again means that to a certain extent you are going back to some old models.
Yes, as I say, but at the same time, because we are...
You find it difficult to say that you go back to an old model, because this is something where many people try to change and then realize that you know, look, we don't, you know, here we can use, just to take a totally different example, we can use Twitter, but with these kind of people, we can't really tweet, can we?
And as I say, the key thing for us is to make travel accessible and affordable for everybody. So we have to cover off all of those needs. But some of the changes that we are making to our model are purely based on what our customers say perhaps they want back, things like allocated seating.
Let's have a short break and we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about Malta, your plans for Malta, and be with us and return in a few minutes.
Thank you.
Għix il-ġurnata memorabbli tat-tiġ tiegħek billi tħalli dak kollu li hu tekniku f'idejna. Nistgħu nipprovdulek sistemi ta' dwal u sound, preżentaturi, artisti u kantanti, filming b'sistemi HD, magħmar dekorati b'temi speċjali, dekorazzjonijiet u skulturi bis-silġ, disinjar u stampar ta' inviti u sistemi elettroniċi ta' interpretazzjoni għal mistiedna barranin tiegħek. Ikkonsulta fuq 2-1-4-8-6-3-0 u dak li jidher impossibbli ngħinuk tagħmlu possibbli.
Xemx u xita, Alla jaf meta, it-temp jinbidel f'ħakkatajn, għalhekk trid taf f'idejn l-esperti. Tinet, twaped, gazebos, sufanijiet u amara għal barra, dwan u effetti speċjali u maftit mela ħafna affarijiet Casapinta Exhibitions and Events jistgħu joffrulek. Għalhekk jekk għandek xi attivitajiet fuq barra, eżibizzjonijiet jew xi tiġ, ċemplilna issa ħarstima.
L-ob tan-nar u effetti pirotekniċi li jistgħu jintużaw faċilment u mingħajr periklu waqt attivitajiet diversi kemm fl-apert jew fil-magħluq. ċemplu Studio 7 fuq 21 48 6301.
State of the art and professional. LED screens, sound, stage, lights. Call Studio 7 on 21 486 301.
L-ob tan-nar u effetti pirotekniċi li jistgħu jintużaw faċilment u mingħajr periklu waqt attivitajiet diversi kemm fl-apert jew fil-magħluq. ċemplu Studio 7 fuq 21 48 6301.
Studio 7 can handle all your technical needs and make your wedding that extra special. We can provide and deliver portable simultaneous interpretation, video projections, lighting and sound equipment, DJ and entertainment services, high-definition filming services, themed rooms and chill-out areas, ice sculptures and decorations, customized design and printing. Call Studio 7 on 21 486 301.
Back to reporter, mana fil-program biex nitkellem ftit bil-Malti, Ali Gayward, easyJet's commercial manager for the UK and Malta. Ovvjament nitkellmu bl-Ingliż. I said that in Maltese, but most people do understand. English is a bilingual society. Obviously, easyJet and Malta. I mean, we start off the program, you know, that you see that you're looking at Malta because not. I would imagine you are interested in taking a bit of a chunk of other markets, but you're looking at the growth thing. Is your strength in the fact that you are going to start operating from established airports which are close to city centres? Is that your main strength?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, Malta has been very successful for us. We have a core number of UK routes. We have Milan and Rome as well in Italy, which are shorter peak summer season. Perhaps we need to extend the season to capture some of the needs of what Malta needs here. But it has been a very successful market for us. And I think also when you look at the relationship we have over at Safi Aviation Park with SR Technics, where we do all of the major maintenance on our aircraft, we have very strong links with Malta. It's terribly, terribly important to our network carrying forward that we look at both what we're doing today, maintaining it, but also expanding our network here.
And when we talk about also not only building on what you have, what new plans do you have? What are the new services or new plans you're planning here for Malta?
There is nothing that I can share today other than some increased capacity on the Manchester service, but we are looking at some potential new destinations, but also, as I said, perhaps extending the season of the Italian routes so that we can encompass more than the peak summer months, because we recognise that here in Malta, outside of the peak summer holiday period when people want to come and enjoy the pools, the seaside, the sun, you know, you have a very important and growing, for example, conference and incentive market, which takes place through the off-peak period. And perhaps some of that we're not satisfying. So we're working very closely with both the tourist office, with the government and some of the incentive agents to ensure that we meet the needs of those travellers.
The profile of the traveller, the inbound and the outbound traveller, inbound in the sense inbound, the people coming to Malta and those leaving Malta, what would their profile be?
I think the people who come for the peak summer months tend to be the more middle-aged, affluent people, particularly those who are interested in the culture and the history of Malta. But I think then, outside the peak summer holiday period, there is a really strong proportion of business tourism, so people who are coming to attend conferences, meetings, incentive opportunities, and I think that's the key opportunity moving forward.
The last question is about obviously your marketing thing. Apart from the fact that here we're obviously giving you the space, but it's not. There's no advert involved. It's just a question of our curiosity. Beyond that, how do you promote easyJet in places like Malta and the UK? How do you promote people? How would people know that you have a service, you have a flight to Malta? How would you do that?
We do an awful lot of website advertising. We have probably one of the largest email databases in in European aviation. We have over 3 million people looking on our website every week. But we also use a lot of external media means. But I think the key thing is the way that we advertise a destination is to try and capture the spirit of why people would go there. So whereas in the past our whole advertising campaigns would have been price-led, you know, go for 23 euros, go to 24 euros, whatever it may be. Now it's all about the reasons to come to Malta. So the culture, the fabulous scenery, the history. So we look at people, experiences, and that's the way we advertise Malta as a destination. We work very closely with MTA as well. Malta Tourism have been incredibly supportive. They provide us with a lot of the information that we need. But also, we work with some of the big events that you have coming on, so to try and entice people from overseas to come to events that may be taking place. For example, if Valletta is successful in winning Capital of Culture, look at how we can work together there.
Thank you very much for being with us, Ailey Gayward, easyJet's commercial manager for the UK and Malta, and hope that obviously you bring us more tourists because we need the money. Thank you for being in report.
Thank you.